Hi, Roy here, coming at you to just catch up with some stuff I've been reading in no particular theme, except it's stuff that's been in my eyes of reading pretty recently. So in the world of classics, the brothers Karamazov. So here I'm part of a read-along convened by Greg, another bibliophile reads, and there's a group of people on there, the sort of descendants of the Ulysses 6, which I was part of. So I'll put the details down below. So big chunky classic, really enjoying it. It can be quite hard work, you know. I mean, there's now and again there's some really sort of challenging parts, but a lot of it's like riotously funny, and you certainly get a lot of theology and philosophy and sort of sense of where Russia's at history-wise when this was written in the 19th century. So it's like a lot of books from this country of that period. It was originally serialised, which you can sort of tell it's a bit sort of cliffhanger-like sometimes, but yeah, I won't sort of try and explain all the plot and so on. Suffice to say, it's a little bit like a murder mystery, and it's a bit of a romance, and it's a bit of a lot of a novel of ideas, and you can never quite tell what's going to happen chapter by chapter. So that's good. Brothers Karamazov, Bros K. Like I say, can be hard going. So between bouts, I've been going from Russia to the perpetually sunny world of Sweet Valley High, where in these somewhat shorter books you get fun and frolic with the Wakefield sisters. So I read number 84, The Stolen Diary, which I mainly got because the cover picture amused me. So I'll see if I can actually recreate. I just think, sorry about the shadow, I'm trying out a new location for various reasons. Then I read Kidnapped by the Cult, number 82. Yes, I came across this. It's mentioned in number 84 as a thing that had happened, and I really like the idea. Jessica Wakefield's parents have grounded her. She's angry at her boyfriend Sam, and her friends don't seem to care what happens to her. Just as she's at her lowest, Jessica meets a magnetic stranger. Adam Marvel is the leader of the Good Friends, a mysterious cult that pretends to help the poor and needy. So she falls in with this cult, and they're actually quite convincingly portrayed. I mean, they're not like a sort of, you know, it's not like the Manson family or the Chloe from Smallville one, but they have the way the sort of vulnerable people are preyed upon to draw them into the ambit of this. Ambit, is that the right word?
It's a word.
Yes, or orbit perhaps.
Or orbit, or both.
And house. Of a charismatic leader. Yeah, good stuff. So enjoyed that. And finally, Regina's Legacy. Now I bought this from eBay late at night because I thought the title... No, not that. I thought the title was Regina's Lunacy, which would be awesome. But Regina's Legacy is a camera, and it's a tale as old as time. Coming across a camera that suddenly means baddies are pursuing. This time it's Elizabeth. So Elizabeth's like the swotty one. She writes for the Oracle. That's the Sweet Valley High newspaper, which I think, where would fiction be without high school newspapers for people to write on? Yes, so she's being chased by baddies because of the camera, and it's pretty good. Actually, I didn't really say anything about it. Apart from its amazing cover, The Stolen Diary was fairly ordinary stories, certainly in the Sweet Valley High series, where because of a mix-up between twinage, Elizabeth, Goody Two-Shoes Elizabeth, is thought to have done all sorts of outrageous things. The same plot we had in the very first book, but it's good anyway. By the time you start thinking about them, you've finished. So yeah, I've been reading those. Also, it's a bit like the February events have never ended, because the Brothers Karamazov has been turned into films and TV miniseries, so that's would have worked for. It's like I've Groundhog Dayed back to the beginning of February for the first prompt of Filmtastic February, and also reading now, bit by bit, England's Secret Weapon, a non-fiction book about Sherlock Holmes, specifically about the Basil Rathbone movies that were made during wartime and sometimes even set during wartime with him fighting Nazis. So this is by Amanda J. Field. It's an academic book, but it's really interestingly written. And I thought it's a great period of the movies. Not only is it a sort of a definitive Holmes portrayal, which we've started enjoying week by week, watching DVDs. First one's Hound of the Baskervilles, set in 1897. It even says that in the thing. But then, like I say, ends up fighting Nazis, and canonical Holmes is thought to have been born about 1854, so he could actually be alive in World War II, though perhaps he wouldn't be quite as young looking and active as Basil Rathbone. I think it's the hat. The hat has always fascinated me, because what they do is they morph the famous deerstalker, becomes something a bit more like a fedora, to make him look kind of detective-like in a 1940s kind of way. But it's still a kind of tweedy one, as if the sort of, in order to regenerate as a wartime character and that kind of detective, it's like it's retained the tweediness of the deerstalker, but it's turned into something a bit more in the sort of Sam Spade line, I think. I'm sure there's more to them than the hats, but that's maybe that's a footnote in this book. I don't know. I haven't got to that bit yet. Also, because events, reading J.G. Ballard's short stories. Now, this I think is come about from Gareth, Books, Songs and Other Magic, and also has Greg at Another Bibliophile Reads involved. So the idea is to read Ballard's collected short stories, of which there are many, one a week. So over an incredibly long period of, incredibly long, over 2 years it will take to read them. So it's a story a week. Anybody can do that. I'm a big Ballard fan, have been since I was a teenager, and I've enjoyed the first couple. So what a great event. So apart from being stuck in a time loop, wearing a tweedy hat, everything is fine. People on my Discord who know that I wasn't going to make videos anymore might well be pleased to see that I in fact am making them. Did I forget? Did I miss? Let's just say, new year, new rules. That's how it works. I've created space around myself to make it a effortless procedure. No deadlines, so if events or whatever take longer than the prescribed time, that's fine. And a ruthless attitude to adverse comments. I've decided I'll just block people. There's no need to provide space for people to say things that I don't happen to be pleased about. Obviously I don't mind people pointing out I've got something wrong factually or whatever, or even saying, well, if you like that, maybe you'll like this. But there's this sometimes you get your sort of culture wars type stuff coming round, and I think to paraphrase Ebenezer Scrooge, I do not make arguments myself on BookTube, and I cannot afford to provide space for the idle people to make arguments. So that's my policy. Okay, got that off my chest as well. Little bonus for the, which is fine because nobody watches till the end anyway.
You say that.
I do say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time.
Every time.
Right, that's it. Cheers, folks. See you again soon with something else.